A really popular, really well-made email finding tool is called hunter.io. Let's go ahead and go to that site right now. I love Hunter because it really does a lot for a little money. If you go on over to the pricing tab, you'll see you have a free plan that gets you 100 emails every single month, which is a great value. If you want to pay for their starter plan, $49 a month, it gets you 1,000 emails. So this is a really good price for some stuff that's really valuable for your business. Okay, let's go back to the main site. This main site is for if you want to have a company mention you. Let's say you really want to get your startup in TechCrunch. You can go ahead and type in just the domain. See, it automatically completes. So let's do techcrunch.com. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull up the emails that it has found most commonly, most likely to be working. So let's see, okay. We've got this first email, verified. It has this check mark. What you're going to see up top here is the most common pattern that Hunter has identified for the different formats. A very big company like a bank or the like will often strictly follow this pattern more or less. Smaller startups can have, just a first name for someone very important, a first and a last name for later hires, etc., etc. But this pattern is nice for getting a feel for how most, or at least the plurality, work. To the right of each person's email, you can see where Hunter is getting this information from. So right here we see 10 sources on this first one, and this gives you the different websites that have used this person's email address just as it's stated here. I find that that's helpful because if a ton of sources are using that email, especially if one of those sources is the person themselves, that's really good evidence that this is a worthwhile email. Now, of course, you don't have to do a scattershot approach. Anyone at TechCrunch, if you want to find someone in particular, you can drill down and find a particular person at TechCrunch. I'm just going to show you. I'm sure it'll find it because it's right here in the all-encompassing search. But just to show you what it looks like, we're going to put this guy, John, right here, just to show you what it's going to look like. It's going to be very similar. Okay. Found him 8 times on the web. An interesting thing here is it talks about when a particular email address is removed from a page. So perhaps the whole page was deleted or it was just modified to remove that email. So we see there's only one page remaining out of the total of 8 times it was at one point published. And we see that page is from 2016. So, okay, that's already a few years old. Do people change their email addresses that often? No, probably not, but it's something to keep in mind. Okay, if we scroll up, if you go to Finder, this takes us basically to that same thing we just did if you want a particular person at a particular company rather than a scattershot approach. Verifier is very useful if you have an email address that you think is accurate but you're not quite sure. You can go ahead and use this Verifier tool to double check and get Hunter's take on whether or not this is valid. Let's give this a try. Let's say not likely real at techcrunch.com. Then go over to verify. Okay, what does this say? Risky email address. This email address cannot be verified with certitude. It says confidence score 72%. Okay, so what does that really mean? Well, if we go over to email status, it's saying accept all. So what that's saying is this is an email address that you can make up any old thing you want and it'll probably accept it and redirect it to some catch-all address that maybe, every now and then someone will check. But the important thing is to note, it says it's a risky email address and the confidence score is below my personal favorite threshold of 80%. It also says, as expected, we couldn't find this email address publicly available on the web. No one's mentioning this on a blog post, etc. So this is not a good candidate for your list. There's a bulk upload. There's a section where you can find email addresses in bulk. You can upload a whole bunch of domains. You can verify people's email address. You can find the email addresses of a whole bunch of people from a list of names and companies. This is all very good if you're going through, say, news articles about a similar niche to what your startup is in, or your website or other service. You can find a ton of people, put them all in a list, and quickly upload them. If you click Email Finder, New Bulk, you can give this a name, May articles about cloud storage, whatever you like. And you can upload a CSV file with first name, last name, or just a full name in one column, as well as the domain name. And this will get you a whole bunch of emails. The Leads tab will let you sort of make almost a mini CRM. You can put a whole bunch of leads in this. If you already have your prospects' information, so, okay, Elon Musk, we put his first name, his last name, his position, we pick a list and we create it. This will get us better organized, put all of our leads in one place. It is not necessary, but some people find it helpful for organization. Also, the outreach section, this allows you to integrate with Gmail if you want to put your work, your outreach, your prospecting emails all in one place. What this is going to do is it'll track it to see if someone opened the email. It'll track it to see if they clicked on a link that you might have sent in the email. And it'll also show you how many times the email was viewed. It might not always work. Some people have, ad blockers and the like that interfere with this. But it is really interesting when you see, okay, my business proposal was looked at 15 times. That's a pretty good sign. With Hunter, you can do a whole lot for free. You can do a whole lot more for a little more money. It really is a good thing to try. I find that all of these email tools will be great for some names, not so great for others. So you really want to have 2 or 3 so that you can always get in touch with the people that you want to reach out to, or if not always, most of the time. So if you're on a shoestring budget, you want to put these email addresses and names into Hunter first. I think there's a good chance that you'll get a good result for not that much money.